Gate to Eternity, Chapter 20 of Holographic Multiverse. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into something that's going to mess with your head in the best possible way. We're talking about Chapter 20, Gate to Eternity. And trust me, this isn't your typical bedtime story. The setup, when sleep becomes your enemy. Picture this. You're lying in bed, absolutely exhausted. But your brain just won't shut off. Sound familiar? That's exactly where our unnamed protagonist starts. In that hell we all know too well. The author doesn't just tell us about insomnia, they make us feel it. You know that feeling when your mattress suddenly feels like you're lying on rocks? When every position is wrong, and your muscles are so tense they might snap? Yeah, that's where we begin. But this isn't just about tossing and turning. This is about to get way weirder. First reality break, the out-of-body experience. So our protagonist, driven absolutely mad by sleeplessness, tries something desperate. They start visualizing their soul literally floating out of their body. And here's the crazy part, it actually feels real to them. They're looking down at their own body like it's some lifeless stuffed animal. Now, they know it's just imagination, but here's the thing. In that moment, it doesn't matter. The experience is so vivid, so convincing, that it plants this terrifying seed. What if consciousness isn't actually trapped inside our bodies? What if there's more to you than just your physical form? Things get creepy. The sounds in the dark. Okay, this is where it gets properly unsettling. Our protagonist gives up on the bed and goes to the bathroom. And that's when they hear it. Digging sounds. Not loud, not obvious, but persistent and absolutely wrong. You know how in horror movies, there's always that sound that makes your skin crawl? This is that, but subtle. It stops when you look for it, starts when you ignore it. Classic Twilight Zone stuff that makes you question if you're losing your mind or if something genuinely weird is happening. The protagonist tries to stay grounded. They wash their face, warm some milk, do all the normal human things. For a moment, it works. The warm milk, the simple ritual, finally brings that blessed drowsiness we all crave. The mirror moment, when reality completely breaks. Here's where everything goes completely off the rails. Our protagonist, finally feeling sleepy, heads back to the bedroom. They glance in the mirror and see themselves, already in bed, already asleep. Just let that sink in for a second. You're standing there, looking at your own sleeping body. Which you is real, the one standing in terror or the one peacefully sleeping? This isn't just a plot twist. This is a complete shattering of everything we think we know about identity and reality. The pain point, finding the gate. The experience literally knocks our protagonist unconscious, but when they wake up, they're hit with this intense pain right below the chest at the diaphragm. And here's the kicker. Only 5 minutes have passed. 5 minutes for this entire elaborate journey through parallel realities. But instead of dismissing it as just a dream, our protagonist has a breakthrough. That pain? They believe it's the actual gate to eternity. The physical point where consciousness can slip between different realities. The theory, we're all holographic projections. This is where things get mind-bending. Our protagonist doesn't just shrug this off, they build an entire theory around it. What if consciousness isn't created by your brain? What if your brain is just a projector, and consciousness is this fundamental force that can exist in multiple realities simultaneously? What if everything we see and touch is basically a hologram? Not real matter, but projections from some kind of universal consciousness, what they call the Creator's software. What if we're all just nodes in this massive network, individual expressions of this cosmic mind, thinking we have free will when we're actually just playing out predetermined patterns? And here's the really wild part. What if death isn't actually an end, but just consciousness shifting to a different reality stream? Quantum immortality, but make it personal. Why this chapter hits different. Look, I know this sounds like something you'd come up with during a 3 a.m. philosophy session, but that's exactly why it's brilliant. The author takes the most relatable human experience, lying awake when you desperately need sleep, and uses it as a launching pad for these massive existential questions. We've all had those moments, right? Those weird instances of déjà vu, or sudden insights that feel like they're coming from somewhere else, or times when reality just feels off. This chapter suggests that maybe those moments aren't glitches. Maybe they're glimpses of something bigger. The bottom line: Gate to Eternity isn't really about insomnia. It's about those cracks in reality that we all experience but rarely talk about. It's about the possibility that consciousness, your consciousness, might be far more vast and connected than you ever imagined. The next time you're lying awake at 3 a.m. questioning everything, maybe that's not just sleep deprivation talking. Maybe that's your consciousness trying to show you something bigger. What do you think? Have you ever had experiences that made you question what's real? Drop your stories in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video messed with your head even a little bit, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the weird and wonderful. If you enjoyed this video and want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the holographic multiverse, I invite you to check out my book. You can get your copy right now. Just follow the link in the description below. Your support not only helps me create more content, but also fuels this journey of exploration. Want even deeper access? Join my Patreon for exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and a free download of my book. As a patron, you'll also receive bonus videos on how I conquered insomnia and anxiety, plus a private 30-minute call with me to explore life's biggest questions together. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X, for updates, extra content, and mind-expanding discussions. Links are all below. Until next time, sweet dreams. Or should I say, happy reality hopping.